The second time around, though, was much more devastating because I had a lot of questions I had to answer. We had 2 kids at that point. Were we done having kids? I was facing the prospect of losing my other testicle, which I ended up ultimately having to do. So what do? Do I bank sperm? Do you want to know what a really weird thing is? Is to bank sperm at your place of work. It's a bit of a surreal feeling to leave clinic, go over to the other end of the hospital and bank sperm. If you're ever in that situation, I recommend that you just take the day off. Just don't work that day. I'm not going to make a TikTok about that, I promise. But all these other things, what about hormone replacement therapy? How much is all this going to cost? Do I have to postpone residency? I got a lot of student loans I had to pay back. All these questions I had to figure out, and I couldn't do stand-up. I couldn't go out and tell jokes this time because 2 reasons. I was in residency, I was very busy. Also, I was in Iowa, not exactly a comedy hotbed. And so I turned to social media. A friend of mine got me onto Twitter, said, you should try this out. It's great. You can tell jokes. You can develop an audience, make people laugh. So I checked it out. I was like, well, what am I going to call myself? Because I knew this was going to be a comedy account. It's a medicine comedy account. There's not a lot of people who are doing this type of thing. So I was like, okay, what's the funniest word in ophthalmology? It was either Dr. Glaucomflecken or Dr. Pseudophacodonesis. That was a little much. I went with the much easier to pronounce Glaucomflecken. And what the thing is now, that people actually think my name is Dr. Glaucomflecken. People actually call my office asking to make an appointment with Dr. Glaucomflecken. So I've run into some issues, but dealing with it. And it was just a few days after I started this social media account that I went to a conference. And I really started telling jokes. It was Arvo. You ever been to Arvo? It's boring as hell. I don't know what I was doing there. I ended up going into private practice. Just looking at an Excel spreadsheet makes me want to throw up a little bit. I'm not a research-oriented person, so I was using Arvo as a place to just try out jokes. And I was telling very painfully specific ophthalmology jokes to an audience of 4 people. I'm going to show you one of these early jokes, okay? Here we go, I'm just going to show it to you. A Drusen researcher just called another Drusen researcher a pseudo-Drusen researcher. Hashtag Arvo fights. I show you this just to point out, the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it, okay? But you know what? I was thrilled to get those 5 likes. We all start somewhere, honestly. We all start somewhere.